During the winter, many different issues arise. So let's start with the obvious ones. It's way harder to get out of bed, and that's due to the lower sun exposures. It's dark most of the day, and because of that, you just don't have the kind of melatonin you need to get the spike of energy you need in the morning to get out of bed. And as mentioned, because of the reduced sun exposure, you also don't have as much vitamin D. You're also more likely to catch a cold or a flu. Seasonal depression might come up. And that's also, again, due to the sunlight, because it doesn't help you regulate your serotonin levels, so you have lower levels of serotonin. On top of that, you also have minimal social interactions. You have feelings of loneliness because you're stuck at home all day because it's cold and you don't want to go out and meet people, and you just become alone and very, very lonely. And as mentioned at the start, you're very, very tired and you're not very motivated because your circadian rhythm is messed up because the sunlight doesn't kind of trigger that rhythm for you. So you're tired most of the day. You don't really have much energy. So all of these things together, just being at home, having a lot of screen time, not having many people around you, and being just kind of in this lonely state, it can have a lot of bad effects. It can keep you lazy. It can make you depressed. It can have even a crippling depression over the whole winter. And the purpose of this video is to completely combat that, is to find a protocol, is to find a way to make the winter the most productive period of the year where you can really get a lot of stuff done. Now, I know that winter arc is kind of like this term, this new thing, or just this thing that people came up with. I don't know who came up with it, but the purpose of this video isn't necessarily to make some sort of gimmicky approach, but it's really to just give some actual advice of what to do during the winter that will get you ahead, so you can come out the other side in 3 to 6 months, a completely new, better version of yourself that is unrecognizable to the regular people in your life. And that is the purpose, to reinvent yourself. Now, I want to tell a story that kind of makes you relate a little bit to why it's important to reinvent yourself during the winter. So it was January 2021, and my girlfriend at the time, no longer now, she asked me, if you want to go for a walk. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for a walk. Everything seemed fine, and we went for a walk, and then the question came, hey, I think we should go on a break. And my naive self at the time was thinking, yeah, maybe that's even healthy. We'll go on a break, and in a few weeks we'll come back and, we'll have this new spark in our relationship. And as the walk went on, things got a bit more serious, and I realized that she actually wanted to break up, but she just couldn't say the words because it was too frightening for her, and she didn't want to hurt me or something like that, right? She didn't want to confront. So at that time, I still remember, it was extremely snowing, by the way. It was snowing, it was cold, it was probably the snowiest day of the year. And we go on this walk, and I realized, this is real. This is gonna be kind of my first real heartbreak, and it's coming up. And I realized that night that, I had to do something. I had to better myself. And at the time, I thought I was gonna get her back and all of this stuff that made the pain even worse. But that night, all of the 2 years of memories just came rushing in. They just came flooding in. And of course, that pain kind of flipped a switch where I was like, I have to do better. I have to become a version of myself that not only, my future partner will respect, but I'm going to really respect. And I wanted to make a change. And during that winter, that was the most transformative period of my life. And obviously, it was situation dependent because of the situation with the breakup. But I have to say, the weather almost aided my transformation because not many social activities were happening. My friends didn't want to really meet up as much because it was just kind of cold and people kind of did their own thing. So I had this period where it was almost completely isolated for myself. And the solution was just me. The solution was just bettering myself and proving myself that I can do the things I want to do. I can build my life by design. So during that winter, I made a lot of transformative decisions, and I experimented a lot. I failed a lot, but I I honestly was very, very happy because I did all of the things at the time that I wanted to do, but I couldn't because my relationship was kind of pulling me back in a sense where I tried to fulfill her needs. So the point is, I just wanted to build a little bit of relatability there where I know every single one of you watching this video has gone through a period of pain and struggle. Doesn't have to necessarily be in winter, but the point is you have the resources available to change things around. And that's probably the biggest mindset shift that you have to make if you want to really take self-improvement seriously is for every problem, for everything going on in your life, there's always a solution out there. People have gone through the same situations as you. There's ways to change, there's ways to improve. And adopting that mindset and taking the necessary steps to change, to improve, is everything. So let's get kind of into what I would do if I could go back in time. Obviously, I've made mistakes back then. During that winter, what I would do to completely transform everything in my life and just become the proud version of myself that is better. So let's get kind of right into it. I've got a few notes on my computer here, so let me just take a look at this. So the protocol. As mentioned, this is what I'm going to be doing this winter, what I would have recommended my past self last or in 2021 winter, and what I recommend you as well. So first of all, you have to wake up early. And this isn't some gimmicky thing that people tell you because they want to get you through some pain. But the truth is, in the morning, you're building this edge. You're building this mindset. You're building this edge that you're better than people. And for most of you, you might be watching this video and you might be like, isn't that a bit like, I don't know, isn't it a bit narcissistic to think you're better than people? But the truth is, if you're going through self-improvement, the whole point of self-improvement is you want to be better than the average person. So the first step of that is belief. So when you wake up early and you get this edge where you do the productive things, where you just walk in a different way, you have a different posture, you stand up straight, you believe in yourself more, you're working towards your mission, and having that period in the morning where you're just focused and dialed in is crucial. I recommend waking up anywhere from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. There's a range. You know, I'm not telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. At some point, I woke up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. every single day for like 6 months straight. I honestly don't even do that now because sometimes I do work late and have to wake up a bit later. Still in between that period, by the way. But do what works for you. Start small. Don't expect yourself to go from waking up every day at 9 or 10 a.m. to go to 5 a.m. It's just not going to work. Do it in levels. Do it in steps. Wake up at 7:30. Try that for a few weeks. And then wake up at 7. Try that for a few weeks and then go down. And the biggest thing with that is being disciplined of when you go to bed. The work isn't done in the morning where you force yourself to get out of bed. The work is done the night before of what time you're actually going to bed. And doing the necessary steps. Not eating right before you go to bed. Not having too much screen time. Relaxing your mind. Not focusing on stressful tasks late at night, all of that. So wake up in between that time frame. Other than that, focus on creative work in the morning. When I first started kind of my entrepreneurial journey, my self-improvement journey, I thought, I should do all the boring work in the morning, which is true in certain phases. But personally, what I do now is I do all of that high intensity creative work, because that's work that I need my brain cells to be really active, really firing. And I tend to do that best in the morning. Some people like doing this in the evening. A lot of times at night, I also have a lot of ideas and I write them down. But in terms of purely execution, I like to do this in the morning. So what is creative work? That's writing scripts, for example, for YouTube videos. That's creating content. That's writing newsletters. That's building your product, building your course. I'm speaking purely from an entrepreneurial mindset, from someone that provides educational content online and builds, income and an audience like that. But let's say you're working on a project for your 9 to 5, or maybe let's say you're in school or university. This is where you would do that creative work and knock that out of the way. So yeah. So as mentioned, just looking at my little script here. After that period, nowadays I like to go to the gym. Before, I like to go to the gym during the summertime, kind of right first thing in the morning, and I recommend that just to get it out of the way. You feel great. But during the winter time, I just didn't see myself. It didn't seem necessary to go through that struggle where you are pushing yourself to get out of bed. It's completely pitch black. You can barely see yourself. I prefer to do the creative work first thing in the morning, get your matcha, get your coffee, get that done, feel accomplished by doing some work, and then going to the gym after. The reason why I can build my routine like this is because I have the freedom to do that, right? I work online. I'm building educational products and stuff like that. If you have a 9 to 5, you might have to switch this around. You might have to do gym right in the morning. Or maybe just do, let's say you wake up really early, do a bit of creative work, go to the gym, and then go to work. I personally do creative work, and then around 10 a.m. I go to the gym. My personal split is 3 times a week. So Monday, upper body, certain variation, Wednesday, legs, and then Friday, I like to do an upper body variation. And then on the 2 days in the week, I do cardio. So I go on runs, I go on long walks. I like to go on long walks pretty much every day. But, especially on those 2 days, I like to do a little bit more running and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about supplements, because especially during the winter, you're going to be having certain deficiencies. So what I would recommend is an all-in-one vitamin D plus K2, just to get more vitamin D because you don't have as much sun exposure. I like to do some creatine for muscle building to get an aesthetic physique, and then some protein powder. A lot of people say protein powder, bad for your gut. I totally agree, but it's just easy. If you really want to get gains and not make fitness your whole entire personality, I like to sacrifice a bit of, let's say, my health for a bit of efficiency. And not many people will say that, but that's just what's worked best for me. Also, of course, you can buy a bunch of steak, buy a bunch of high protein foods and go that way, but I just don't want to spend my whole day cooking. So I do go the protein powder method once a day. Other than that, what you also can do is you can have some electrolytes in the morning. This is going to help you wake up. Electrolytes, this is basically salts, minerals for your body that's going to wake you up and give you more energy. This is especially good in the morning, so you can buy electrolyte powder. One thing you also can do is apple cider vinegar and just take a shot with a bit of water. This is going to wake you up and get you more energized as well, especially good for the winter. So you may be asking yourself at this point of the video, why do I have to do this? Is this necessary? Well, obviously, you want to get ahead. You want to be productive. You don't want to be lazy. That is your anti-vision. That is your worst outcome of the winter. It's just not progressing, not making the promises that you made for yourself. And these simple things, working out, waking up at a certain time, giving yourself the right nutrition, the right vitamins, is all you need. Of course, things to add on to that is meditation every morning, or meditation or pray every morning, and some journaling, just to clear your mind and have the clarity that you need. And that's all you really need to do. So obviously, when you do this, you're gonna, if you put in the inputs, you're gonna get the outputs. And the outputs is having the clarity, being that unrecognizable self you wanted to be, being that 2.0 self you wanted to be, coming out of winter. And I promise you, if you just focus on your goals, whether that is progressing in your career, whether that is building a business, let's say you want to build an educational business like I do right now, helping people make a transformation that you've went through, then do that. And if you do want to learn more about it, by the way, you can book a call with me below. I can walk you through it. Basically, things that you've overcome in your life, things that you want to help people with. You can help people that need that same transformation and charge a high ticket price and basically do what you love, follow your purpose. Also, kind of coming off of that, if you lack clarity, if you don't have a clear vision of where you want to go, I've got a completely free training. It's very extensive on how to build your vision. This is in the domains of health, wealth, spirit, and relationships. Building those visions to make sure that you're going, or at least aiming towards your ideal life. So click the link in the description somewhere. It'll be there. It's a completely free course. And yeah, other than that, I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys take action, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.